So speaking of Bel Air in this area, I've seen on Redfin, different websites, you see just the number of listings that are over 5 million, over 10 million, over 20 million. Has there been an overbuilt? Is it overbuilt in this area, or would you say it's kind of along the lines of what's kind of selling? So it's not crazy overbuilt. Some of the investors that we work with, some of the hedge funds, the insurance companies, they look at this area and they go, man, there are a lot of homes in that price range. Yeah. And they get nervous. They maybe don't want to buy a loan, or they look at the value and go, I don't know if that value is really there, based on the supply and demand feature. Yeah. Is that kind of, do you see that also in this area, or do you think that we have enough? Is Los Angeles big enough to absorb that many listings?
I see absolutely LA is big enough to absorb it all. Number one, we have a very diverse economy. I mean, we have the entertainment industry, we have a lot of business. Recently, the last few years with Silicon Beach and Google and all of those big internet companies moving here, that's increasing more people here. LA is LA, it's not getting any bigger. Right. So we've been talking about this. What's happening is it's a trend vertical because there's nowhere else to go.
And it's not like new homes are being built, right? They're mainly remodeling or tearing down an older home and making it into this amazing modern.
In some areas, I would say 8 to 9 out of every single home is being torn down and built brand new. Wow. And they're tearing down 2,700 square foot homes that were mostly built in the 30s and 40s, maybe early 50s. But that's just not today's lifestyle. Right. People don't want that small home. They want bigger homes. They want higher ceilings. They want all sorts of things. So we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, most of the West Side prime neighborhoods, you'll see a lot of new construction. I mean, in some areas, like I said, 8 to 10 homes are being built. Now, some areas, 2 years ago, when the market started to change, I could feel it. I would be up in the Hollywood Hills, mostly the Hollywood Hills, and there were so many brand new construction, modern glass box homes.
Right.
And at the time, there were maybe 35 or 40 in the pipeline to be built. They were in the 15 to 25,000 square foot range that were going to be selling for 20 to 35, 40 million. Well, I knew based on the data that there was not going to be enough buyers to absorb that product over the next few years. So for example, right now today, a lot of those houses are still sitting there because there's too much of that particular product in that particular neighborhood. And where they could have sold a couple years ago for 22 or 23 or 25 million, because there's too many of those now and they've all been sitting on the market, they're trading at 20 or under 20. Even some that sold for 23 million a couple years ago are now reselling for 18 or 19. Because there's other newer homes. Right. So it depends on the area. Where there's other areas where you have a 7,000 foot lot and people pay $2.5 million, buy as a tear down and build new.
Right.
And that's very common. And now the flippers aren't doing that so much. They're kind of out of the game now. They're not really buying the flip. It's owner users.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that have money that have inherited or are inheriting wealth from families, the younger generation, and they're buying properties and building homes for themselves.
That's cool. And are they like a second home, or is it
primary homes?
A primary home.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most of LA is primarily a primary home market.
Right.
But the Beverly Hills area, Bel Air, Holmby Hills, Hollywood Hills, we tend to have a lot of homeowners that are second, third, fourth, fifth.
Especially international buyers,
yes,
right? Yeah,
yes,
that makes sense.
Or U.S. buyers. I mean, a lot of people live in L.A., live in New York or Chicago or Canada, but when it gets cold in the winter or too hot in the summer, they want to come to L.A.
Right. We have the best weather.
And that's what happens. Almost everyone at some point in their life, if you have some money, will come to visit L.A., right?
Right.
Disneyland, Hollywood, everybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
They come here, they like it, they see the temperate weather, they see that we've got the city, we got downtown, we got the West Side, Beverly Hills, and the best shopping and restaurants and houses. You got the beach 20 minutes away, you've got skiing an hour away, you've got the desert and golfing 2 hours away. You've got everything very close by. Very few places in the country really have such diversity and such nice overall temperate weather.
That's right. I can attest to that. I love the weather here. All right, so